people would be trying to like gatekeep a little bit. We trying to include people, not exclude. So I love how the sport community includes.
Yeah.
So I wanted to use that medium, but to add what I wanted to do in apparel. I've been for real on this sneaker game before it was a sneaker game. I used to call it, I just got a lot of gym shoes.
Aux Money back with another one. This is probably my most sacred episode. It has to be. I'm with my big brother right here, Don C.
Man, I'm happy to be here.
Man, it's crazy because like even just coming up into this whole like music industry, you know, me and Trav, we used to sit at my grandmother's apartment in Jersey, and we would just like map out how things are gonna go, and we just like mapped out a lot of what we were gonna do off of what y'all were gonna do. Just y'all based out of Chicago, you and Kanye, me and Trav based out of Houston. It just was like a blueprint to what was gonna happen. So for us two to be sitting on the couch right now with the relationship that we do have, I appreciate you coming through, bro. And you know, I think this is really dope.
Man,
and it's
I'm
necessary.
I'm honored and I'm hyped.
Yeah.
I see you as likes. So
Yeah,
that's how
yeah.
we get down, and that's how we always rock.
And also, a lot of people don't know that we were gonna have like this show on Sirius like a long time on satellite radio. It was gonna be me and Don, and I was gonna be playing music off of like the stories he was telling, just about fashion and music. And,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Remember we like recorded an episode or two, and yeah. So this is basically that at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Aux Money, we here.
You know what
Let's
I'm
do
saying?
this.
Yeah, fire. So introducing Don C. Y'all already know him, man. He's the sport and fashion link up of the entire universe at this point. So I like to start these off like with the obvious. And here we are at the Mitchell Ness pop-up at Indianapolis. I want to ask you this first. What do the two words Mitchell Ness mean to Don C?
Oh wow, that sparks a lot of nostalgia, pun intended. Mitchell Ness is like my favorite brand. Anybody that know me, it's how I really like got into the game of like culture.
Right.
Was on a national scale, cause like in the late '90s, 1998, I was like a young entrepreneur that was also into tech, and so tech at the time was a website.
Yeah, right.
And so I bought the URL vintagejerseys.com.
Okay.
And I wanted to start distributing throwback jerseys online because Mitchell Ness didn't have a website at the time.
Okay.
So that's how my relationship with the brand started.
So on Vintage Jerseys, were you selling Mitchell Ness, or were you just selling?
I was selling Mitchell Ness jerseys. But this was at a time like 1998 where people didn't even feel comfortable putting a credit card on a website.
Okay, right.
Like if it was like, oh, buy this on the internet, and be like,
it's
wait.
probably like a virus or something like that.
They thought it was like a scam or something. So I had more people that knew me that would call me.
Okay.
They would see the pictures online, and then they would be like, yo, you got this? Let me get it. But I didn't have a storefront. I didn't have a retail business. So at the end of the day, I was hustling them out of my bins. I was selling throwbacks out of my bins. I was calling rappers, like, and through relationships I knew. So, and at the time, Kanye was wearing throwbacks, but didn't nobody know who Ye was at the time. And
just
so
on some street shit.
But he was early with it. And so that's what this brand mean to me. It's like the beginning of my career when it came to like retail, entrepreneurship, culture, sports, everything. Like at the time, the president, Peter Capolino, he just didn't like the look I was representing the brand, like selling throwbacks out of my car.
Okay.
So he shut me down. And when that happened, like I cried. I was hurt because I love the brand, but I rekindled the relationship.
I was about to say, what happened? What conversation was it that rekindled the whole relationship between you and him?
It didn't rekindle between me and him. He got up out of there.
Oh, man.
And so,
the new president saw what you was doing.
Reebok bought the brand, and then like later, like I designed the Just Don hats, and it was just based off the Buck 50s. And
exactly. So,
I hit Ye with one, and he took it there. Jay took it there, and that developed the current relationship with Mitchell and Ness.
Exactly. So, yeah, like I said, we like to start with the obvious. I'm sure you answered this question a lot of times, but for the millions and millions of Aux Money viewers, break down the Buck 50 hat and why you decided to take that to the sports realm and launch the whole Just Don brand and what it is now.
Yeah, man, Buck 50s, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got to Google that. It's a movement out of Chicago, late 80s, early 90s.
Right.
Drug dealer chic.
Not
If
for
you
real.
was a drug dealer, if you was getting it, you wanted to set yourself apart from the regular cats with a snapback. So you go to like the Korean dry cleaners on the corner and you get them to sew the python visor on there. And then
So
on
that was the
back-
process. It was the Korean.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to be
customize.
prejudiced on exactly which ethnicity,
Yeah,
but
no,
yeah,
you
in
know,
my neighborhood,
yeah,
it was
that's
a
how it was.
Korean
Right.
dry cleaners, and so like then they throw and at the time it wasn't even real snakeskin, it was fake, but it just still was pristine.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I'm saying? And then in a certain area of town, there was a store called Breyers. Shout out to Breyers at the time. They made them like regionally famous all through Chicago.
Right.
But Breyers was on the west side, so me being from the south side, I didn't have a Breyers. I just had one like from my neighborhood dry cleaner.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the anatomy of the Just Don hat. Just some hood Chicago shit we put on a global scale.
Exactly. And I had every single one. Don though. I used to hit him like, no, I'm not gonna lie. You came with this Astros joint. I need this joint.
Had to.
So check this out, real quick, just on some street shit, since that's how we come right now. In Chicago, I feel like it's like politics to how you can even wear your hat. They be like, hey, don't come to this side of Chicago, wear your hat backwards. Don't come to this side of Chicago, wear your hat to the side. What is that? I feel like that and like LA are like the only two cities where you really got politics and like a style to where you're even allowed to wear your hat.
Oh yeah. You know, if you ain't plugged, you gotta watch where you wear your hat. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully, me, like I'm an adult, so people respect me enough to let me wear my hat whichever way I want to wear it. But if you from outside, be careful. Why, they'll make you straighten up your hat. Make sure you soft. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you come to the wrong part of town, you just can't be caught out here slacking.
Yeah. So all right, one of my favorite things about Don C and the homies alike, shout out to Easy, shout out to Iben, shout out to Woody, everybody.
Chi-Town.
I feel like y'all memory bank is just so immaculate. I feel like y'all always have stories on stories on stories on stories, right? I want to ask, do you have any favorite All-Star Weekend stories? Do you have any favorite just Chicago Bulls stories in general that led you to the point we at where, you making so much apparel?
Man, what's a good All-Star? All-Star 2002.
Yeah.
That was the year 50 Cent took over, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yep.
And that was like the first All-Star weekend that like, I felt like Ye career was about to do something. I could just feel it in the air.
Okay.
Like we had, it wasn't 02, it was 03, matter of fact. And it was like we had.
The specifics are crazy.
Yeah.
The specifics is crazy.
And we had put out we was just like, he was just popping as a producer, you know what I'm saying? And we was about to like put out, I think it was after Through the Wire came out.
Yeah.
So it was definitely like people was like kind of respecting. And so that was the first All-Star game. It was like when we went to the mall where people was recognizing them like, yo, what up, Ye? What up, Kanye? So I feel like that was a good one because that was like the one that I felt like life was changing a little bit. It was the first All-Star game where we felt like we found out what a police escort was.
Yeah, those things are important because you never look back after those times.
Yeah, exactly.
You
like,
never look back after those times.
What? We could pay the police to push us through traffic? You know what I'm
for
saying?
real.
And we just
Well,
felt like Chicago.
Do you remember what
made
city it was in?
Yeah, it was in Atlanta.
Atlanta, okay.
So that what made it special too, because it was like that was like the tail end of when like BMF was still doing it.
Yeah.
Like not the TV show, but the real life
but the real
organization. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was like I feel like the last All-Star game, BMF was balling heavy.
That's crazy.
And they bought out this one club, and I remember they paid like for valet parking for everybody.
I feel like that's on the TV show.
Yeah,
I feel like that part you talking about.
Oh, that is for real?
I feel like it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at the real one.
Right.
And so that's just a favorite memory of mine.
So I want to do this segment real quick. I don't know if somebody could help me out. Zoe, help me real quick. What we're gonna do is we in the Mitchell Ness store. We're gonna just bring out a jersey.
Okay.
And we're gonna ask Don C what this jersey means to him.
Oh,
so
okay. This is real fun for me.
Let's start with this one right here.
Oh, what?
We're gonna start with the obvious.
What? Okay. This is 1996.
Okay.
February 11th.
Yeah.
That's the day Mike Wattis in San Antonio, Texas.
Come on
you know
now.
what I'm saying? He also debuted the Carolina Blue White and Carolina Blue
17?
Jordan 11s.
11s,
the
okay.
11s.
Yeah.
He debuted. So imagine how Jordan was freaking him with the baby blue 11s in this jersey.
Yeah.
That didn't even match.
It
But it was just fly.
It was
Jordan.
Jordan.
It was Jordan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's people always call this jersey the chili pepper based on this like little design right here.
Uh-huh.
And what up, Busy? Chilling
Yes,
with
sir.
it. And it's like So yeah, I think a lot of people arguably say this is the best All-Star jersey.
This is honestly my favorite. So Zoe did a good job picking this first.
This when the NBA, and I think at the time the partner was Champion.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA and Champion put their foot in jersey design back then.
So
that's just some encouragement for Nike to study how Champion really got down, because it ain't saying Nike ain't doing it, but it just look a little too utilitarian right now.
Yeah,
like
it
we
could
like
be a little
this
more artistic.
flavor that used to be in the jerseys from this era. So that's why I encourage the designers there to take the positive criticism from the community.
Right.
And like, we don't want to look like soldiers. We want to look like flavorful athletes, you know what I'm saying, on the court and off the court.
Yeah, the community being Don C right now. But since that's the only All-Star jersey we're going to pull out, do you prefer it when, because honestly, I loved it when they played in their own. Remember, it used to be the home team and their home jerseys against the away team.
So I'll tell you the story with that.
Yeah.
That only happened in 97 and 98 because that was the year that Champion lost their license with the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So actually in 97, they had designed a jersey to be in Cleveland.
Right.
It had the guitar on it.
Mm-hmm.
So Mitchell Ness and Just Don, a couple years ago, we did the storytelling behind that, and we released the guitar NBA Alls because the design was released.
Right. They just didn't wear it on court.
Because at January 1997, January 1st, the NBA and Champion lost their license. They broke up their relationship, and the All-Star game was February 97. So that they had just had to tell all the players, like, yo, y'all got to just wear y'all regular jerseys, and we just going to put a patch on them.
Yeah.
So that's how that went down.
I honestly love those jerseys.
It did add flavor,
but
it added a little confusion on
was
the court
definitely
to me,
confusing,
because it's like somebody on your team, but he had another jersey.
Yeah, I feel like that was like Kobe Bryant's NBA courtside.
That was his first All-Star.
Exactly.
And I like that they had the patch.
Exactly.
The patch was cool, too.
It was a vibe to me. All right, what other what jerseys can we rock out with? Okay, we going.
Okay. That
I already
Kobe
know the follow-up question I'm going to ask, but you go crazy real quick.
All right, so you know this one mean a lot. This is young Bean Bryant, his rookie season, you know what I'm saying? Out of all the Kobe's that's there, this is the one that I grabbed today.
Right.
Because I ain't had this one in a minute.
Yeah.
Man, this meant a lot. I'm going to tell you the uniqueness with this one.
Let's do it.
Every picture you look at Kobe back, I keep giving so much props to Champion because they was the jersey manufacturer back then. That's the only reason, Mitchell and Ness for life. But if you look at all the pictures of Kobe back in this era, the jersey used to have like a little ripple right here. And I tell Mitchell and Ness, like, man, we should redo the ripple and make it like imperfect.
Real on court.
How Champion shit used to be back then. Because it almost put me in the mind of like a dress or something.
Yeah.
And no pause on that. Like, but it's like, when I say a dress, it's like from the design of a dress. You know what I'm saying? So,
intentional.
Yeah, exactly. So I like the ripple. So that's something I like to tell everybody to just pay attention. And when you see Kobe in this jersey, his rookie year, it always, this rib on him, Champion must use like a low quality rib that season where it used to ripple up. And so that's just a characteristic I identify every time I see a pic.
R.I.P. Mamba.
And the gold, 96, 97, the gold Jerry West logo was on all the jerseys that year.
Come on now. All right now. Let's
Oh, come on, y'all. You
heavy.
already know it's getting real heavy in here.
It's getting
real heavy in here. I would say Mike rookie, but it's not Mike rookie. It's Mike's second year.
Okay.
And you know what's so important about this? Because my relationship with the Jordan brand commercially, the first shoe I did was like a charity shoe, a Jordan 1, but commercially was the Jordan 2.
Right.
The Jordan 2 for me is the beginning of luxury sportswear.
We're going to get into that.
You know
for
what
sure.
I'm saying? Like the Jordan 2 was made in Italy. So this was the jersey that Mike wore that season. And I thought it even like complemented the Jordan 2s because the Bulls script was in this cursive, like this,
more European,
more prestige.
Yeah.
So I thought that just complemented the Jordan 2s. Unfortunately, this season was bad for Mike because it's the one season he got hurt.
Yeah.
He only played like 17 games this season, but he came back that off season and still became Mike. But I think that's why the Jordan 2s wasn't like flourished like all the other Jordan
Exactly.
models.
It just didn't have the on-court
presence.
Right, exactly.
But the beginning of luxury sportswear was the Jordan 2s made in Italy, 87.
87. We're going to get right back to that. Let me get one. Let's do, I feel like we got to do one from over this side. Let's grab that number 7.
We're going to call out that these not authentics over here, but it's still all good. Oh, okay. See, Dex holding up that Bill Russell over there like, y'all ain't seen that. Y'all ain't even seen that with the terry cloth.
Right.
We just going to mention it.
We
Y'all
just
better
gonna mention
Google it. Y'all better Google that. We got the Will Chamberlain just like it. Okay.
Let's do that one.
This one right here is
I feel like this is a lot of people's favorite jerseys.
This is one of people's favorite jerseys. Man, this jersey is really creative. You know, it was brought in that era of like super graphic jerseys.
Right.
So I thought the sublimated graphics with the embroidery and patchwork. I mean, none other than that Vince Carter.
Right.
You know what I'm
Slam
saying?
dunk champ.
Mid-90s Toronto Raptors. I think this jersey embodies 90s basketball.
Exactly.
When you think of 90s basketball, you think of the Raptors logo. I think so many players today, they first glimpse of the NBA was this NBA.
logo.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So this is like kind of when, after Jordan took the NBA there, well, we took it global. The game was Canada.
Right.
It was in your face. It was all about the celebrity games before the tunnels and everything.
Right.
But
MTV, Rock and Jock.
yeah,
that
exactly
era.
that era.
Yep.
So you feel that with this. Mitchell Ness giving you every era of basketball.
Mitchell Ness give
know
you
what
every
I'm
era
saying?
of basketball.
1946 to today.
Yes, sir. So let's break this down. How it went from your website early on in your career, just as a salesman, as a retail spokesperson, to the Just Don brand that it is today. And we brought up the twos, and we brought up the snapbacks. So at what point did you decide, all right, let me make this my own Just Don brand, and why did you decide to call it Just Don?
Man, it was like organic. Working on Watch the Throne, I had the privilege of working right next to Ye and Jay. And so they saw me working on the hats.
Right.
And so it was something they was like, oh man, we rock with these. So organically, they supported. Once the tour happened, I feel like then it was a product that was like in culture. Like we on tour, people could consume it and get it.
Yeah.
So that's where the brand came from there. I was so privileged because working in music, I love music, and music is like the pulse of our lives and culture. But I always felt like I wanted to add something in the physical clothing space. Like I just like clothes.
Right.
And I always felt like, I know it sounds old, but like when we first got on, like it was hard for artists to get merch popping with like even a popping artist didn't have merch.
Right.
Like,
right.
You know,
it'd be like one tee that might survive for 10 years or something. Yeah.
And so we just was trying to figure that out. So a major moment of breaking that barrier was like forming a relationship with Takashi Murakami. Because Murakami was somebody that we just kind of studied the blueprint of Louis Vuitton, fusing like fashion with art. So I just felt like other mediums of culture could be fused, sport and art.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
design and music and whatever. So the beginning of fusing those worlds is like, think what Blue, like Murakami on the merch was like next level at the time. It's next level today.
Exactly.
And so that just allowed me to really see like, man, it's a lane to be able to do apparel and still be involved and add value to the space and to the team and culture.
Right.
And so that's what I wanted to do. And sport. I love sport because fashion, when I started like really wanting to be a part of fashion, I'd be feeling like people would be trying to like front, or people would be trying to like gatekeep a little bit. And I ain't like that. And so I felt like, man, we trying to include people, not exclude. So I love how the sport community includes.
Right, exactly.
Like we could be rooting for opposite teams, but we could still enjoy the game together.
Enjoy the game. Yeah. We still at the Super Bowl at the same time.
Exactly. And or we could be completely opposite characters from completely other spectrums of the world and come together when our team wins.
Right. And you have people that might be Lakers fans that are from Arkansas.
Somewhere else.
You know, so sport just includes
sport
everybody.
is a unifier.
Yeah.
So I wanted to use that medium, but to add what I wanted to do in apparel, but on the sport medium.
Love that. And it's crazy because especially one thing I want to talk to you about, Don, is colors. And I always respect those eras. I respect, because graduation is my favorite era, just creatively from Ye's career. And my favorite era from Trav's career is Usher World, because I feel like it's so hard. I feel like it's easy for everybody to kind of lean on this dark, mysterious, like kind of, like that whole vibe
Rock
for just
star.
Yeah, to be creative.
We know they rock stars, but to
Exactly.
bring you in the world, it's
Right.
like to bring you in their amusement park.
Exactly.
Now that's way bigger than a rock concert. I'm just being real.
And no, for real.
But amusement park, everybody love Disneyland.
And that's why I say that, because it's hard to get people excited about pinks, purples, and yellows. It's easy to be excited about, I'm black, I'm dark, I'm mysterious. But it's hard to get people excited about pinks, reds, yellows,
and I think
blue.
that has the timeless longevity, the worlds. People want to be a part of the world. They'll talk about the world forever. They'll mimic the world. You know?
Right, exactly.
So
yeah, with that, how do you think that inspired? Because I know your first shoe collaboration that I purchased was not the Louis Vuitton, the Just Don 2, and the all blue, and then you had the all cream one as well. So what inspired that, and why did you want to go with that being your first Jordan sneaker rollout?
Well, when I had the Jordan, first got the deal with Jordan Brand, it came across me doing a charity shoe, and it ended up like raising some money for charity. So they was like, yo, how do people know who Don C is? Like,
Right.
and I was like, man, you know, I got a little respect in the sneaker community, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
because I've been for real on this sneaker game before it was a sneaker game, you know, like just on, I used to call it, I just got a lot of gym shoes.
Yeah.
That was what it was. And so, and then I used to like, before people even mess with K West beats, they would see the Jordans I'd be wearing, like, man, where you get them? And so
Right.
I'd be like, able to pay my rent in New York when I couldn't, when music wasn't paying the bills.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I used to hustle shoes. So that's just always been part of my ethos. And when I got the deal with Jordan Brand, it was like the first person that wasn't like a celebrity, just somebody that's like a sneaker enthusiast. And so I was like, man, I just so hyped because I want to show people out there that you could be in this and not rap, not play ball, but you could still have a part in the game. And so I got the Jordans, and so basically they was like, yo, the Jordan 2s is a model that don't get no shine. What you think you could do with it? And I was like, man, I could tell the storytelling how about that's the beginning of luxury sportswear.
Right.
So it only made sense to fuse. My wife had a Chanel purse, and I just looked at it and I was like, man, I just need to fuse the quilting from the Chanel on the Jordans. And man, that's how it came about. And the blue was the actual color of the reference purse. So
Right.
I just rolled with that.
Okay, so the actual purse was blue.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I feel like we can't even finish this conversation. Not to say we're almost done, but we can't even finish this conversation without bringing up Virgil Abloh. You already know.
Absolutely.
So let's just break down those early years of you and Virgil, and just how mobbing around, tour life, and the whole breaking down what you guys expected of each other into what it is today.
Man, that brother, he inspired me so much because it was at a point in time where like me and Ye came up together. So I'm very protective of him because I seen him from inception of his career to being somebody globally. So when we met Virgil, it was like a refreshing breath of air of somebody that was creative, that we could build with, that we wasn't trying to like sun.
Right.
We just thought like, how like niggas come around, you just feel like they like kind of just jocking for no reason, but you feel like, oh man, this somebody genuine that's
That can offer
interested,
something.
but like, man, he trying to add some value to what's going on. So that's the first cue I tell everybody. That's how Virgil got in. He came in adding value right out the gate. Like, yo, I'm creative, I'm an architect, I'm formally trained, I want to design, I'm hungry. How can I help design? So of course, we always creating. If somebody say they creating, you could build with us at the time. And what he helped me realize is he helped me reach out to other creatives. Because me and Ye came up together, I'll be so protective. I'll be like, people come around, I'll be like, oh, they just trying to get around Ye. They just trying to. Well,
Exactly.
Virgil was like, yo, I come from the point of view of somebody trying to get around that's positive. And that's not always a negative thing. And so that's what Virgil kind of, something I want to encourage everybody to kind of follow his work ethic, his eagerness to always add value. And I mean, he was uber talented too. So that's the first thing, get your skill craft like tightened. You gotta sharpen your sword before you go out for battle. So this man's sword was the sharpest.
Right,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
And the thing I always reflect about Virgil is that he was a student of every craft that he went
Everything.
into. Even when he started DJing, it was like, oh, I just watched this documentary on this and this and
He
that.
did not DJ. He was
Yeah.
not a formal. And so that's
Exactly.
what helped. It gave me the encouragement to not be a formally trained designer and want to design or anything you want to do, you can do.
Right.
And there's so many resources out here online. So it ain't even
Literally.
resources that's hard to
Get back
get.
into the
It's-
tech,
it's-
exactly.
It's resources right here. So I think he fostered a whole wave of kids that are now the leaders of culture.
Exactly. Virgil had an impact on everybody.
Rest
so
in peace, Virgil forever.
Virgil forever. So we got into this music conversation a little bit. I know, Don, you're a supremely elite 90s rap, hip hop connoisseur. I know there's a lot of Mobb Deep involved, Tribe Called Quest involved. How did those sounds impact the clothing and the materials that you do make now?
Oh man, that's the fabric. That's my son. 90s rap is like the soundtrack of everything. And even today, like it's so many producers from my era that have modern sounding music.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my son is now the next wave of it. Him being 14, me educating him
Shout
on
out Baby Don, man.
Don, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Me
sir.
educating him on 90s rap. So like, for instance, his favorite producer is Havoc. And
Right,
when I
which is
study
crazy.
Havoc and his drums and, you know, his sequences and patterns, it's very modern. It's like drill music.
Right.
Like literally, like, I mean, no disrespect to drill, so I don't want nobody to think I'm disrespecting Chicago drill.
Yeah.
But like Mobb Deep was like kind of pre
No, it really that's what
drill,
it was.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the 90s. So man, I love it. And then and somebody got killed every song. No,
Right. Yeah, no, that's how it was. I always break down 90s rap in these 3 different forms, right? I feel like you had like a Tribe Called Kush, right? Obviously, I love Q-Tip, probably one of my favorite rappers of all time. I feel like if you was at one of those parties, you was like probably like a Howard graduate.
Exactly.
You was like on that type of time. And then you had like the more like even like De La Soul was in that era.
Yeah.
And then you had those parties where like maybe you was at a Mobb Deep or like a Wu-Tang party where you might get stabbed up.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying?
that's risky.
So yeah,
And
it
then
was just, like,
from
one of those
Chicago, we was looked at as sellouts for liking that back then.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Chicago was like, oh, you trying to be from New York? Why
Right.
you like? So, cause it was like the time, like just think like Crucial Conflict and Twister was popping in
Was
Chicago,
just-
which we was messing with too.
Yeah.
But Chicago very segregated. Like if you from the South Side, West Side people, like back then, we the ones that tried to bring it together. It's like South Side, West Side, we all Chicago. But back then it was like do or die. If you was from the West Side, you supported them. But I was from the South Side, always supported do or die, Crucial Conflict. Even though it wasn't like the type of rap that I was living at the time, it was from my city.
It was easy, so
that's
you
why
can
I
relate
had
a little
to
bit
rap
more,
it,
and
yeah.
it had like more of an angle to it. I gotta ask you just from a sport and fashion point of view, who do you think are the best dressed athletes out right now?
Wow, best dressed athletes. Okay, I think they gave it to man. It sound commercial, but they gave it to OBJ for the NFL and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the NBA. So I say like I see these guys. Their outfits are on my Instagram feed more than other
More than
guys.
anybody, okay.
So I don't know if that's like the system feeding these guys to me or not.
Do you
Pause.
agree? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they fresh, you
Right,
know.
right.
I try to give people more credit like that do something opposite. So that's why I'll be peeping like dudes that do vintage. So that's why I do like Shy, because he do a lot of vintage.
For sure.
Because, I mean, everybody has access to, and everybody's stylist has access to the latest fashion.
Right, right. So
you
they
know?
might just be following the direction.
So I'll be looking for like people that got innate style, you know, puts together vintage with high fashion, with low,
Right.
with emerging street designers, emerging local brands. That's what I like, that mix of that. So that's what I'll be looking for.
Yeah.
And I think both of those guys do that a lot.
Okay.
But this is the one thing, I don't know if this is bad or not, but maybe like, I don't know if it's a way I challenge for somebody to have a drip off, but without a stylist.
Okay.
Because I feel a little bit, no disrespect, I feel a little bit having a stylist is like you not, like if people be like, man, judge this person, that's unfair to judge NBA players against guys that play on the playground.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm saying?
exactly.
So people with stylists, that's like a different, like you're fortunate enough to have the resources to hire someone to dress for you, like
And go spend X
that's
amount of dollars and
that's
just-
unfair, like to the normal guys,
Right.
like. And so I would like to say I'm a normal guy. I've never had a stylist, not even for one event ever in my life. Now that's why probably on today's standards I can't dress. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't got.
I don't think anybody would say that.
I ain't got a glam team,
Yeah.
but I'll be liking people to flex their innate style. And it's okay to wear the same pair of jeans twice. It's okay to wear the same pair of shoes. That's when I study style, is like a people not pretentious with it. I'm looking at how effortless a person does it.
Exactly.
And that's to me what gains more points. So when a person's comfortable within themselves, honestly, and they got a nice looking girl, they're stylish.
Exactly. Yeah, that's taste level in general.
Taste level, yo. So it's like a
Yeah,
cat on a white tee, and the way, you know, swag, I walk like a ball player, then
Right.
I'm gonna get the credit.
Exactly.
You know, so it's
And-
not just clothes and fabric. It's your attitude, I think, more than anything.
Right. And as far as musicians and artists and rappers,
All the best ones.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody that's at the top, you know what I'm saying? It's just us, you know what I'm saying? Trav, Yay, you know what I'm saying? The that I be around is the niggas that inspire me.
Yeah, right,
Like I
right.
look at them, and when I see them, even when they look like characters, I like it because it inspires me to think of something. And so I remember as a young person, the first time I go to New York, I used to just love people watching because I used to be so inspired. Like, man, look at the people. I like looking at old people too because old people got years of style.
And then the most comfortable, everything you're saying, the effortless, like they have the
years of style references and just being able to take something from it and instill it in what you do. So that's the biggest thing. Like everybody, man. Take from the people that you inspired by, the people you look up to, take the elements and the principles that they apply, but apply it to you. Don't copy what they do. Exactly. And that way everybody can be special. And that's what makes like the whole landscape real fun.
Exactly. Beautifully said, Don C. I'm not gonna lie, man. Beautifully said. So one last thing, man, on this Aux Money Couch, we always ask all of our guests to put us on the 3 different things. It could be a book, it could be some food, it could be a juice. I know you be on your juices, so it could be just 3 different things. We'll go to camera. We'll go to this camera 1 right here and just put us on the 3 different things.
All right, 3 different things. You said juice. So the first thing is health. I want to put everybody up on. We live these really fast paced lifestyles. So take a moment and take care of your health. Whether it's enough rest, whether it's enough exercise. And what I do, I juice every day because it's something that just kind of revitalized my system. I feel like I'm on the go all the time, so I feel like getting that cold pressed nutrients is something that just, it's my moment of the day. So no matter how busy you are, take a moment for yourself.
Right. That's number 1.
Man, what else I'm gonna put? You know what I'm gonna put everybody up on? Man, we applaud the creative landscape so much, and I want to put everybody up on, take a moment and respect your business.
Okay.
Look at your business, look at your, maybe an accounting, look at something that's uncomfortable in your life, but it's focused on business and make that a priority.
Right.
Because if we just creative, we might be broke in 20 years.
No, seriously. Don't be too entitled to take care of what needs to be taken care of.
So look on your, and looking after your business might not be sexy, but so what? Everything's not, everybody that you think is sexy, they not let you see their whole process.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's some unsexy parts of their process.
Right.
And then the other thing, man, I'm just seeing too much dissension out here. So love everybody. Love your neighbor as yourself.
Right.
That's the golden rule that Jesus instilled, and it's applicable to this day. No matter, so when somebody say love your neighbor, don't say, but is my neighbor this? Just love your neighbor.
Right, no matter what. So, man, Don, bro, thank you so much for your time, bro. I know you got
this
1,000
Money
things to do.
Man, this Aux Money, I'm privileged to be here, bro.
Yeah.
I look up to you.
Yeah.
So even though I'm older than you, I look up to you. And I look up to what you doing, your team is doing. And I feel like anytime I can add value by sharing experiences, I want to do so, because even the things that I look at as failures or things that I did that was wrong, if I share it, then people could have that and be able to do things better, and we all glow up as a people together.
Nah, seriously, man, this is the Chase B. Don C conversation is much needed, bro. I'm glad this was documented. Shout out to Boardroom, shout out to Aux Money, all of that.
Aux Money, Boardroom,
I know you got to
Cactus Jack. Who else we shouting out, man? Mitchell Ness for letting us sit here. Mitchell Ness since day one been down with me, so we gonna do that as a movie. So Boardroom, I've been talking to Boardroom about some content with Don C. So Rich Kleiman and Kevin Durant, I'll let your boy. But for real, I got so many stories. I want to shoot content and make product around it. And so watch how Just Don and Mitchell and Ness do that. We gonna be like the fashion version of 30 for 30.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm telling you, that's crazy, man. Shout out Don C, bro. One of my favorite people in the entire universe. An example is Black History Month, and you already know how we coming. So, everybody, we got like an audience this time. It's like the first time we got a real audience.
Okay, cool. We got
Don C.
You know what I'm saying? And we always about getting that Aux money too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I told y'all business is important.
Yeah.
So learn from my mistakes. Somebody that's been exposed to as much as I have, I should have a plethora of financial wealth.
Right.
And I don't. But I'm not unhappy. It's part of my process. And I always tell people, I say, I got my health, my actual health. So that's more important. But what I could share with other people is the experiences that they have, and you have these opportunities. I want to give you whatever mistakes I made not to capitalize, I'm going to give it to you so you can. Because that's why I be looking at the lames that is on the list of whatever, and I'll be like, yo, don't nobody wanna look like, sing like, dress like, act like these people on top in the business sector. So the people that's making money off of what we're consuming are not the participants of this culture. They're just benefiting from it. So I want to do whatever I can for our culture to benefit from our culture. And so the mistakes that I made a a lot of mistakes, but I'm gonna tell them to everybody so they can learn from it and we can get what's on. What Jay say, I'm charging extra for what they did to the Cold Crush.
To the Cold Crush,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
no,
saying?
for sure. I don't know if anybody, we got an audience today. If anybody got a question they want to ask.
Let's do it. Come on, man. We ain't in
What's up,
all
Jocko?
day.
You said it took like Watch the Throne for you to get the Just Done, but y'all was the Rat Pack like way before that. What took, you know, that amount of time from like graduation, late registration to Watch the Throne before you was able to do the Just Done?
Oh, man, well, you know, the point, at that time I had a job. I was working for Ye. So that's another thing, like that is also a whole nother thing. Working for your best friend that's elevating and then being able to communicate to him that you want to do something different. Man, that's more jewels.
Uncomfortable conversations
that's
that need
other
to be
jewels that have to happen, and having those open conversations and knowing we still family no matter what. Because guess what? The skill sets that I can acquire outside of here, I can bring back. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I looked at it. Now, other people might have looked at it a different way, you know, and sometimes those are uncomfortable conversations to have, but I want to share all that with everybody from a positive standpoint. But to answer your question, that's why I feel like it took so long. It wasn't also no blueprint back then. So we was just trying to figure it out. You don't remember, Sway, you ain't got the answers.
Yeah.
Like, we was trying to figure it out. So God bless us with the resources and the go-to to keep trying to figure it out. And that's what everybody need to do. Like, it's a forever going algorithm that we forever updating. So nobody never has it all the way figured out because we're imperfect. That means we'll never have it perfect. We just figure out how to imperfectly make it work with each other. So that's what it's all about. And I think the number one thing is showing love to each other, because love is a perfect emotion. So if you can put that perfect emotion in imperfect settings, then that at least balances the field.
Perfect.
I appreciate that. Thank
For
you.
sure.
Andrea?
If you met a younger version of yourself who was trying to build their brand, didn't know what to do, like, what advice would you give to that person?
Be ambitious, be out here, man. Like, and I told you earlier, like, I'm inspired by people that come outside of their shell. Like, I'm not a shy person, but I'm more of a person, like, I be thinking I'm too cool to be too open. You know, like, oh, I'm cool, I'm not gonna go over there with them. No, don't be cool, be uncool. Get out your comfort zone. Show people what you're doing. Be interested in what other people doing.
Show interest.
Show interest in what others doing. Be intentional about building with people. Get uncomfortable. Don't just build with your likes. See somebody in the room that look like completely opposite to you. See what they do. I bet you it might be something that can add value to what you do. So I think if we just build with what we got here, we got it all here. We got it all here. We be scary. And I used to be scary. Like, I get an opportunity, I'll be rolling with I'll be at one of these things like this, and like somebody come up to me like, yo, Don C, I want to holler at you about maybe doing something. I'll be like, oh, I bet. I won't even tell my boy I'm with. Because I'm scared he's going to go up to dude or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's some bitch shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I had to come out of my shell and be like, man, you know what? I ain't gonna do that. If somebody gonna do me wrong, they gonna do me wrong. I ain't gonna do them wrong because I think they gonna do me wrong. That ain't, so you gotta release all, and if everybody release that and we all be like, yo, look, if we all look out for each other, you always got somebody looking out for you. But if you only looking out for yourself, then you only got one person looking out for yourself. If everybody in this room looking out for somebody else, then that means we got
everybody in
here looking out for us except ourselves. So that's way more backs you got, you know. So it just takes a lot of, you gotta throw the fear away to feel that way. And so to throw the fear away, I think is love. Like, if you love something, you just do it. Like, the first time I worked with Jordan Brand, they could have been like, hey, we're gonna, you'll never get $1, and I would have signed that contract. Like, hey,
seriously,
you could do a Jordan, and you just get to meet Michael Jordan. That's what your payment is, man. Sign me up. I love it so much. You feel me? But also, like, when situations change, then that principle don't apply no more. So that's why you got to approach it saying, wait a second, that sounds hyped, but that's not going to be sustainable. Let me think about that.
All right. We'll take one more. Anybody got any question for them? What's up, Viz?
Take to get a Just Don Cactus collab.
Oh, come on, bro.
man.
You
trying to fuck the
you
streets.
just throwing
Busy
it
trying
in-
to fuck the
yeah,
streets
you
up,
just throwing
man.
it in the universe like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's done. But we gonna hold them to it. You know what I'm saying? Just Don sitting right here, man.
Yeah, right.
I'm the old nigga on the couch. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely. Man, I'll be honored. And we already talked the ideas. We got a plethora of ideas. So pinpoint one is what it's about.
Exactly.
But let's do it.
Yeah,
For
just-
2024.
it's about
So
hitting-
let's be intentional
Seeing
about
the
it.
target and hitting it, man. That's the only thing that we on over here.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna ask one more. It's just a super clickbait question, bro. I just gotta ask. Favorite. We spoke about Virgil earlier, and he has tons of things. Actually, it's two questions. I'm gonna ask you two. Favorite Virgil sneaker, specific colorway and model. What was your favorite? That ever
Oh
came out?
wow, the one that didn't come out was the Jordan 4s, the
Oh,
black
those
and
are
gray
crazy.
Jordan
You talking
4s.
about the bread with
yeah,
the
yeah,
kind of
and then but
transparent?
probably other than that, the women's cream ones.
Yeah.
I know that's ones and then AJ1 Carolinas.
Okay, the
The
Carolinas.
with the orange
With the
laces.
orange, that's how-
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
how we
It's like you can't go no harder than that to drop Carolina with orange and
laces.
neon green.
Right.
Let's go. You know what I'm saying? So them was all of them was crazy, but them was the ones I
Yeah.
did heavy.
And then what's your favorite Travis sneaker that came out?
Man, I had to say the purple AJ4. I'm going back to the Friends and Family purples and the Mocha 4s. But man, somebody said it was like 50,000. I was like, man, maybe I shouldn't have wore those. No. I was like 50,000. I was like, damn. Yeah, them definitely was my favorites. But man, and I mean, it's sort of on the same wave. I hate to, man, I gotta tell y'all, man, y'all seen me forever. Don C style don't change. I'm the same every year, just
That's
a
a
different little iteration. So of course the Jordan 1s, the Mochas, but then flipping them with the pinks.
with the pink laces.
It's the same principle,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
different settings. So
Right.
that's what Don C ain't changed. It's been Mitchell Ness and some type of like high fashion brand maybe.
Exactly, yeah. Sprinkle that in there real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, so one more time on it, Don, bro. I know you got a lot of things to do, man.
Man, thank you, bro. I'm happy that everybody get to visit the Midwest, getting close to Chicago.
close, that's
You know what I'm
close.
saying? Feel a little Chicago energy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But I just want everybody to visit Chicago this summer. That's my movement. You know what I'm saying? Visit Chicago. Come there this summer because everybody think it's like bad and all that. It's not. It's the best. It's like a clean New
Chicago
York.
in the summer is
It's the
perfect.
lit. It's like a clean New York. If you like New York, you're gonna like Chicago for
Yeah,
real,
yeah.
but clean.
Go to Flav's, get some jerk chicken.
Exactly,
Yeah,
bro.
that's my vibe.
I'm gonna show you all the spots, and I will be there. And I'm the ambassador for the Bulls. So if you come before April, come pull up for a Bulls game. You know what I'm saying?
But y'all not gonna make the playoffs, is what you trying to say?
Man, it's not we gonna make the playoffs though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if you come before April because playoff time you ain't gonna be able to go to no games.
Yeah,
man. It's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be too intense. But before the playoffs, we can get you some tickets. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Pull up.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Don C one more time, man.
Love y'all.
Big bro, appreciate you
All
pulling
right.
up.
Aux Money.
Yes, sir.